good day. Welcome to Architectural Technology. I just want to show you this thing I've been working on. Basically, it's a series of apartments on a particular site. I've been thinking of doing something for a couple of years now. There's no client, and I basically also took the regulations and zoning laws and all the other related bylaws and threw them out the window and decided to go on a sculptural, artistic rampage, basically. So the whole concept generally takes a certain formalism when you look at it from one type of street, from one side of the streetscape, and then when you look at it from another, it has developed into another type of metamorphosis into a dynamic form that is a fusion of deconstructivism and cubism to an extent. So it's a little chaotic, but there's a sense of order into it. So I didn't want the building to have one type of look all the way around because one, the building's shape is quite awkward. It's a triangle in essence that's been truncated on one side. So I just wanted it to have an interesting piece of dynamism and character. The initial concept was the building that was going to be very taller, but I decided to chop it down a bit and focus on the character of the building. The taller structure didn't have any character. It was just going to be something mainly glass because I was interested in bringing out a certain color in the glass and a certain visual aspect to it. But I ended up changing, as you know, when you're in the process of a design, you keep changing. But the other thing you'll need to know, this thing doesn't have anything inside. It's a basic shell. I can show you at different floors. It's 11 floors. It's a basic shell. There's nothing inside. I've put it on the site. The site is dedicated to the public. It's a public place. It's in an area called Block 7 in Gaborone in Botswana or Botswana, depending on where you come from. It's a very empty shell. I didn't get into that part of the designing and how the spaces work because that wasn't my interest here. Like I said, when I started, it's mainly a sculptural thing. It's an artistic attempt at something. I just wanted to show you how you can take a basic shell, start working on it when you go into visualization, and start picking interesting pieces of views. And the main objective of this series is to look into how you can take any form or any building you've been given or you have, whether you're in an office or you're specializing in visualization, and take a video or pictures of a site and then start to make sure your visualization focuses in taking up the characteristics of what's existing on the ground. In a way, you're going to stitch what you have finally here to a final and realistic site. So in essence, I took videos. I've never done a situation where I render a video and stitch it to an existing video. It's gonna be a first for me. If it fails, hey, maybe it's gonna fail dramatically. Who knows? But if it works, it's gonna be a first for me. And I guess those of you who are interested in visualization, you'll pick up something or two and take the few lessons you pick from here and just go crazy with them and explode them into something amazing. That's what really the channel is for. It's meant to create a spark. I'm not trying to say I'm the best at what I do or I am actually anything great, but I'm just trying to spark a fire in others to appreciate what they are into as being architectural technologists and taking the field forward. So the idea really is visualization. Visualization as an art, not particularly in this case as a functional structure that the windows have to be at a certain area, maybe for this is a living room window, this is a toilet window. No, everything is basically just sculptural and artistic here. Nothing is functional. Other than the fact that it's just been divided into the apartments at the top and commercial spaces at the bottom, maybe generally a two-level gym at the ground and at the first floor. And with your entrance sort of tucked in at the bottom, I didn't want a domineering entrance. I wanted something that you can see that there's something there that maybe that's where the entrance is as you approach from any side of the building where the entrance can be seen, but at the same time without it domineering the views in essence. So the only other thing I wanna include as a point in this video is maybe to tell you the software I'm using is Archicad 23. You can see here. And for most of you use Archicad, you're wondering what's going on here. I like customizing my Archicad, even my shortcuts, to work in a way that I would want. Generally, your type of Archicad, you change in 3D styles, it would look something more or less like this. It looks more or less like this. To me, there's too many color when it's like this, and when you have color and material already when you're modeling, you tend to lose the idea of your form, your massing. So in essence, what I'm saying is your massing tends to be overlooked because you're looking at how materials are coming together and how colors are coming together. Whereas the primary focus should be your massing. Are the forms interacting well? Are the forms giving a character? So when you reduce it to basically two tones, monochromatic, you are able to really get an interesting view into whether the form and the massing really works together. Because if you can't get something to make sense with as little and as minimal material or resources as you have, then definitely it's not working. So that's why I just like working with two colors primarily to see the different contrast I'm working with, and it helps me understand and see my proportions very clearly without adding texture or color or any other types of variants that can distort what I want to really see. So this is the building. I think I've orbited it enough. I've explained enough. Remember, the series is not about design. It's mainly just about visualization. So as you're orbiting, you already know where which views you'd like. Like for an example, I definitely would want something from this view where someone sees the building strictly from the side, and then where maybe there's another view from this angle where you see a little bit of the dynamism and the formalism is still there. And then another one where you actually are isolated into the dynamism of the building, and maybe possibly the fusion part of the building. So it's basically three sides: one that's very formal, two that's very deconstructive and dynamic, and the third one that's a fusion of the two. Uh, so you pick your views, you pick your angles, and then you see what you can do. Sometimes, if you've already taken the pictures of the site and the picture or videos of the site, it's best to use those from the videos and then start.